Chill. Yeah. M16.
This is unbelievable.
Brr. Weazel. You don't really wanna miss Weazel news. We keep the city on they P's and they Q's, cause they know we pull up with them cameras and shoot. We tell the truth so you don't get confused. You don't really wanna miss Weazel news. We keep the city on they P's and Q's, cause they know we pull up with them cameras and shoot. We tell the truth so you don't get confused. Hey. Shout out to my boss, Baron. You know that man make it happen. He got our foot up in the damn door, and now the whole team taking action. We got pictures on whether you can chat with Cheddar. Hit me for your music needs, who gon' do it better? And you can catch Travis on a rash report, or catch me going live with the facts from the source. Ari is a newswoman, plus you with the force. Man, the whole Weazel staff, we on top, check the score. Editors, producers, all going hard. Don't make us pull up with them cameras in your front yard. Weazel.
Welcome to Weazel News. We are your hosts, Sky Davis, Dick Dastardly, and Tiffany Tulips. Welcome to the broadcast. Hope you're doing well. Dick, Tiffany, how are we this evening?
Doing wonderful. How are you doing out there, Tiffany?
Doing great. Can't complain.
Wonderful to hear. Quite the busy week we have had in Los Santos.
It has certainly been busy in both Los Santos and Sandy Shores at the beginning of the week also, you know. It has just been, how do the kids say it? They still say off the chain or ratchet or, I'm not sure how they say it today, but it's just been just busy.
Yes, yes, definitely. Things have been bussin'. Is that still a thing? I don't know.
Tiffany, are you down with the hip kids these days? I'm not real sure.
Well, I knew they used to say, what was it, like off the hizzle or something, and I don't know if that's still a thing. Post shizzle. Yeah, I don't know if that's still a thing or not.
Well, if one thing's right, then we are for sure off the hazel and busting over here on Weazel News, and we hope everybody else is as well. Yeah, it's been a crazy week. We've had fires, we've had car accidents, and that's just, I mean, we've had robberies, we've had so much. Tiffany, would you like to start us off this week with something that happened that can catch the viewer's eyes or attention?
Well, I know on Saturday there was a dead body discovered. I can't remember the exact postal, but I remember it was a dead body that had been buried, and then I guess it was dug up and there was like boxes of body parts and things like that. It was definitely an interesting case.
Oh goodness. I do believe it was on the west side of the city, out in the graveyard of behind the church. I mean, what a way for those, the officers in the city to start their evening, you know? Man.
It really was. And I felt bad for this. I felt bad for this poor individual. You know, all the medic found was just the head and the hands. You know, everything else had been cut off. All the organs had been taken out of the body. It was definitely a very gruesome scene.
Oh goodness! I hope our viewers have already had their dinner. Yes,
or maybe they haven't had a dinner. We don't know yet.
Maybe they're gonna fast until morning now. We really don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, hopefully everyone involved can kind of get some type of understanding on what happened, and how the circumstances arose into the situation that happened at the graveyard, and whoever needs to be put in justice gets put in justice. Whatever families need closure, get closure, and we do hope that gets resolved quickly and peacefully for the humans' sake, even though they have already passed.
Most definitely, 'cause it is, we do joke around. We try and bring a little bit of humor to it, but yes, that is a very disturbing scene from what we understand from law enforcement and the medics that had to transport the remains
Yes.
to the crime lab for further investigation.
Yeah, I mean, I can
Absolutely.
only imagine the horror, and I mean, they're used to that somewhat, on the guts part, but I mean, I can only imagine. Actually, I don't want to imagine.
I'm about to say, I don't want to imagine. We know we read enough details from the press release to make you
Mhm.
just say, wow.
Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely, absolutely. We also had last evening, I do believe there was a big, where was I going with the sentence?
Big
There,
bada boom.
there is a big, there were multiple fires last night. I do believe that one was located at the, let's see if I can find my notes here.
I do believe you might be looking for one that was at the movie studio over there.
There we go. Yes, there was one at the movie studio. I believe they carved that up to be electrical. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I believe you're correct there, Sky. I believe it was electrical.
Yes. There was an electrical fire. Something was, not plugged in right, or, touching something got too hot. So many ways that, you can start a fire. But I know, Keith McGroin was out there, all evening with the, SAFD, responding to a lot of different, circumstances. There was speaking of them out and about, there was a traffic accident right in front of their fire station. The San Andreas state troopers were also on scene of that, and the person we got their name was a Jerome Brown, and it is believed that they were having a heart attack. So we do hope that he is okay in the hospital, and his family have been notified he's doing well. We do hope. We'll check in back with that story. But he was transported to the hospital, and Moses came out to get that vehicle, and everything went smoothly with the rest of that evening. But I mean, what a way to, lucky for him, he crashed in the right spot, I guess you could say. Not that there's any good spot, but of all places.
Well, this time, the firefighters were the first responders on scene. This time, usually it's the law enforcement who are the first ones on scene because they're usually out and about
Yeah.
already. And this time, firefighters just had to take about 3 steps, and there
Yeah,
they were.
they got a front row seat to the action.
Exactly.
Most definitely, yeah. But there's also several other wrecks throughout the night last night, and it seems like with all the snow gone, folks still haven't learned how to drive around the city.
No, they have not. Or anywhere in the state, for that matter.
That's very true.
Very true.
Did they have a motorcycle wreck out in Sandy this past Tuesday?
I did hear about that. In the 1036 area, there was a motorcycle crash on the side of the road. I believe that person was transported for some minor injuries, and it was witnessed by a few people at the gas station that evening.
As long as it was minor injuries, I heard potentially they may not have a helmet on. I'm not 100% sure, but
Oh boy,
yeah. Either way, they're lucky they didn't get the brains scrambled up.
they are very, very lucky. Very, very lucky. right in that same area, there was a car with a woman in it that drove into the Alamo Sea. I did not get much information off of the dispatcher and the LEO that night, aside from that there was a older, bigger woman who had driven her car. I don't know if she hit the gas instead of the brake, but she was on Marina and drove her car into the Alamo Sea. Luckily, first responders were able to get her out, and the car was towed before any full submerging happened.
Did they have to call submarine to get that vehicle? You know, that's
some
drop off in them water some places.
There are, and I'd have to believe that water. I mean, we are getting back into the the snow is gone, warmer weather, but I mean we are still only kind of a few months to weeks out from the snow, so the water still has to be kind of cold, I'd imagine.
I just don't know, Sky, Tiffany, would y'all go swimming out there in the sea? I've seen some stuff float around at sea I wouldn't want to be around.
No, I definitely wouldn't. Definitely not.
I know that a few years back they had the first Kuffs San Andreas athletic triathlon during the summer, and the first year they had it in the Alamo Sea, and the second year they changed it to the beaches of Polito. So I'd have to believe that there was some kind of reasoning for that being, I mean, half the time that water is green and foggy, so I'd have to imagine that water is not healthy to be ingested or on the skin. I'd have to imagine.
I would have to continue to agree with that. There's probably other things in that water. We all know what Sandy Shores is famous for, so we know what's probably in that water.
Yeah, not good. Not good. Let's see, Tiffany, do you have anything else to add on to what you saw this week?
I believe there was a bomb threat last night. I don't remember the exact postal, but I know it was in the subway, I believe. And apparently there were, I think, 3 boxes that were making a ticking noise.
Oh, wow.
And I believe that they were able to disarm any bomb threats that were happening. No explosions, thank goodness, but I know most of the officers were on scene, including most of the San Andreas Fire Department was on scene as well.
That is great to hear. I know that they had one sergeant from the San Andreas State Troopers, and the Sheriff's Department go in who were trained for that situation. And they did a good job with disposing and disarming those bombs, as Tiffany said, and luckily nobody lost their life that day. That is some scary things, and it makes you wonder if that had a bigger intention or a bigger target of some kind.
Absolutely, and I know there was a monkey, too, right across the street from where the bomb threat happened, too. I don't know why the monkey was there, or if someone lost their pet, or if lost it from the zoo, but it was a very interesting scene.
Wow, a monkey, and I know there was a car crash. I guess maybe somebody while evacuating, got scared and, kind of drove away a bit too fast, but I heard that somebody also hit a telephone line. Luckily nothing happened as a result, but in the process of trying to evacuate the area, we had a monkey and a telephone line get hit by a telephone line get hit by a car. A car.
Where did the monkey get hit?
Had a car hit a telephone pole.
Was the monkey driving the car?
I don't know. Maybe they were the passenger. I mean, if it's Billy McIntosh in a suitcase, I wouldn't doubt it.
I have to agree with that one too.
As far
there.
as I
Wow.
know, Billy was not on scene, so I have to believe this was a different monkey, but it was very interesting.
Yes, everything in this state is interesting all the time. Even
That's
this,
what I'm learning.
even this newscast with monkeys hitting telephone lines.
Yes. Speaking of wild animals, we had a pussycat stuck up in a tree in Sandy this past Tuesday. Had to have the officers and the fire department to bring a ladder to help her get down.
Now you said a her, and you also said a pussycat. Was it a human or was it an actual cat?
It was a human. Her first name was Pussy, and she
Oh.
was trying to look for a kitty cat, so we just grouped it all together. Yeah.
I,
But
I'd imagine that it would be the famous Pussy Willow, I believe.
that would be her. That is
I
exactly what it was.
I know that name, and I will never forget the time that I did a report for the unicorn a while back, and yeah, things got interesting.
I talked to a few folks on scene. Things were further interesting that night because apparently she failed to wear her panties, and
Oh,
everybody
Oh,
on
Lord.
scene was getting an
oh,
eyeful of all the goods.
wow.
Yeah, and let me just say, I don't think they could have came with a ladder fast enough to get her out of that tree.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yes, but she came down and said all she needed was a cigarette because she was good to go from there. After that, she thanked all the officers and firefighters on
Wow.
scene. So, don't know where the actual kitty cat got off to, but we do know where
Oh, so she
she
was
got off to.
chasing her kitty cat as
That's right. She
that's how
was
she got
chasing
in.
her four-legged kitty cat. Now, got to be specific.
Mhm.
Her four-legged kitty cat.
Mhm.
Is that what the kids are calling it these days?
That's what the kids are calling it these days for
No.
shizzle.
Oh
Lord.
boy. Oh
Oh
shizzle.
Lord. I don't know if I consider that busted or not.
Well, no cap there. No cap.
I don't think I think I'd call that that disgusting. We'll have to play that new game that they got on the boob tube, disgusting or not, or busting or disgusting. We'll have to play that one day.
I would have to agree with that. Yep.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
and today we're ranking that as disgusting.
Cha-ching.
A donka donka.
Speaking of speaking of, disgusting things, or, well, maybe it's disgusting, but we've had multiple overdoses in the state as of recently. One was behind a hotel in San Andreas, with a woman unconscious. I am unsure of her status. I do know that they were possibly still trying to get a rhythm on her, but I was unable to get a clear report from the lieutenant.
The newsroom actually got this report right before we got on scene.
Oh, beautiful.
Apparently, she was declared deceased,
Oh.
and the contraband that was around her was taken into, I guess you'd call it protective custody or chain of custody for the evidence. Because as it was some sort of drug overdose with blue pills.
Hey, when somebody gets a drug overdose.
An overdose.
Oh deuce.
overdose. It's all bad. It's all bad. But we do send our sympathy to the people involved in that. It's always so sad when we hear, of course, of all these all of these different losses that we've had throughout the week. Definitely is a unfortunate time. I believe we also had a few, definitely a few traffic stops. I know the Sheriff's Department and the San Andreas troopers both hit a quota match for this past month with amounts of traffic stops that they've been on and tickets written. So, ladies and gentlemen, wear your helmets, wear your seatbelts, go the speed limit, because they are out and about and they are watching, and you never know what's going to happen.
That's right. They're watching really, really hard and heavy. Like you said, we are approaching those spring months, especially for those motorcycle riders. Make sure you have those helmets. And we know, leather is not required, but it sure does save your hide in case you go sliding down a highway.
Absolutely. And, making sure that you have everything, registered and well. Out in the Sandy Shores the other day, we had a RV that came back fully registered and all, but they were parked in a, I don't know if you want to call it shady, but a unlit area, and officers definitely went to go check that out to make sure nothing was happening. Luckily, that person just had driven all night and wanted to get some sleep so they could stay safe. So law enforcement let them stay in the night, but definitely just, if you are in a certain area, make sure it's well lit, make sure you're around other people. If you do have to stay somewhere, maybe you contact your, your local law enforcement at the non-emergency number 311, just to give them a tip to let them know what you're up to. That way they don't have any questions or problems along the way.
Definitely don't want any misunderstandings or whoopsies to happen out there.
Yeah. I mean, because so many different things can happen, within the state. So you just have to, do a crackdown, especially with all these drugs that we have going in and out of the city. Soon going in and out, we had a robbery take place in the Grapeseed Harmony area of one of the gas stations. 24/7, we had two people that went in to a gas station to supposedly rob that location, but upon arrival, there was one person who was down, and a robber was suffering from a overdose episode, which is always scary. Like we said, all these drugs, all these things happening throughout the city.
Most definitely, we've had a severe influx of drugs lately, and hopefully the law enforcement can help crack it down on the drug usage.
Absolutely. Let's see, Tiffany, you have anything else for this week that I feel like we have so much to talk about, but it's all things that we need to talk about.
Exactly. There is a lot this week, that's for sure. I do remember hearing about an individual who I believe he was pulled over for a traffic stop. The individual got out of the vehicle upon the officer's request. When medics arrived on scene, they were told that this individual might have been intoxicated, but upon inspection, the officer did a breathalyzer test and even a drug test, but both came back clear, thank goodness.
Good.
But this individual also refused medical treatment, which doesn't really help. And so the San Andreas Fire Department advised this individual to definitely take an Uber or a taxi to get home, because this individual was very concerned that he would not be able to drive his vehicle. And I was just very fortunate to hear that the San Andreas Fire Department was making sure that this individual definitely did not try to drive home, especially if he had a concussion.
Of course, I definitely don't want anybody to drive if they are unable to in a bad medical condition.
Absolutely.
Yes. I believe we did have an explosion out in a plant in the Grapeseed had Route 1 Senora Freeway, excuse me. We got there. Senora Freeway area, and 2 people were injured, and I believe that they possibly were both taken to a medical center, and then were later released. It was believed that one of the workers had accidentally driven their forklift into the tank that they were working on at the plant.
I do remember hearing about that, and I believe one of the individuals might have been an employee or a former employee at Weazel News, if I remember correctly.
Yes, Danny Lanny, he is still with us. He's been taking some time off to his past is from the child outreach program. So he's kind of been going through a few different jobs, and he is still with us to some extent. He is a part-time intern, but with us, we hope we'll have him and Peter trickle back at some point. But yes, he was unfortunately lightly injured at that scene. We do wish him well.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Heal up, Danny. Heal up. We need you back soon.
Definitely. There was also a tow truck and a bike stolen out in Sandy Shores the other day. I believe that the state was able to come up and find that person who had stolen multiple different cars. Actually, had 2 different instances that evening where somebody stole multiple different cars and modes of transportation. One led to a high-speed chase that went all the way out to Route 1 near the Chumash area. Now, ladies and gentlemen, from Sandy to Chumash, that is a distance. That is quite a distance that person did travel, and luckily everybody was okay. Sergeant Carlson of the sheriff's office, he was hit in the vest, transported, but we hear that he's back out there and doing okay and back on patrol.
That is great to hear. And you're speaking of the tow truck, I believe there was an attempted carjacking actually stopped by one of SAFD's medics. He was filling up on fuel up there at Flywheels in Sandy, and was there when the individual on the stolen 4-wheeler pulled up and attempted to take a haze rollback.
Wow.
The medic was able to call in for law enforcement to come apprehend the subject, and was able to stop the record from being carjacked, stolen, by pulling his state-issued taser on the subject.
Wow, I mean, great to hear that was able to be resolved in a okay manner, and heroes, they don't have to wear capes, and but sometimes they do, and sometimes they wear many capes or many hats or whatever you want to associate that with.
Well, or maybe heroes wear badges or patches. Maybe heroes wear patches.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Let's see, and we also had 2, I think, a helicopter and a plane went down, in the Harmony, area. Both, I believe, had some injuries and possibly some, loss of life with that. So we do give our prayers out to those families and those who are involved. Have you been listening to any good music lately, guys?
I've actually been listening to a bunch of cover music. There's some new bands that's come along in the last year, and they've made some remakes of cover music. There's a song out there. I came in like a house record. It's an awesome song. It's been remade into a full blown rock song from a pop song.
Dang.
Interesting.
Wow, I'll have to check that one out.
Most definitely, it used to be a great cover song by Spritney Beers. Spritney Beers used to cover herself, and then someone else come along and remade it into a rock song.
Wow, Wow, we'll definitely have to check that one out. What about you, Tiffany?
I haven't really been listening to too much music this week, but if you have any link stick, feel free to send me some of those because I definitely could check those out.
That's
I
awesome.
can definitely send you to it. I got it on my Pandora box radio.
Oh, perfect.
Awesome. Yeah, I've been listening a lot of, actually I've been listening a lot of metal lately. Just kind of different, different stuff, rock music, metal. It's all fun. And I'll definitely check out, Britney Beer's, new single. Um, yeah, we've had a lot going on this past week. I think the entire server deserves to be the people of the week because, I mean, with the influence of, our new members mixed with our veterans and mixed with our seasoned members, we'll call them, we've had a great week of roleplay. I'm unsure of last night's count, but on Tuesday we had 27 to 26 calls in a 2-hour span. So great job by all involved this week, and looking forward to more RP with them, or more hanging out in the city next week for sure. I would like to highlight the fact that on Friday, for anybody who is wanting to get involved, the Maze Bank Arena is holding their first Destruction Derby at the new arena that was just made. They'll have a lot of different things going on. They'll be doing some bikes, then they'll do cars, then they'll do some different stuff out on the field. Both, everything. That event is called Ring of Fire. Night with the Monsters, monster trucks. It'll be fun. Sponsored by Hayes and Mosley's. We are looking forward to that. If you do want to get in on that or any of the RP in the future, go to kuffsgaming.com. Server guide is linked for you. Applications on the Discord, server rotation is in the description, and check it out on the website. Ace and Country will be streaming on Saturday, so check them out. Am I missing anything? I feel like I'm talking my head off.
Just one correction there, Sky. Ace and Country will be streaming on Tuesday, not Saturday.
That is what I meant.
It's okay. That's what we're here for. We all get a little tongue twisted.
Absolutely. I mean, especially with our, what did you say before? I already forget. Oh, an overdose.
I wasn't going to say anything. Shh.
Well, speaking of overdoses, if you'd like to overdose on more Weazel news, check out the playlist on the channel, and look forward to the future, guys. We are going to be expanding out with Weazel news a little bit more. More information will come on that very, very soon. But with that being said, my name is Sky Davis. This is Tiffany Tulips, and that is the Dazzlery, and we appreciate you coming out to hang out with us tonight. Hit all the buttons that you do to support your favorite streamers, and we would not be here without you guys watching and hyping us up, so we do appreciate it, and from all of us at Weazel News, we will see you on the next one.
Good night.
Night, everyone.
A donka.
Wind toes.
Overdose.
Chill. Yeah. M16.
This is unbelievable.
Brr. Weazel. You don't really wanna miss Weazel news. We keep the city on they P's and they Q's, cause they know we pull up with them cameras and shoot. We tell the truth so you don't get confused. You don't really wanna miss Weazel news. We keep the city on they P's and Q's, cause they know we pull up with them cameras and shoot. We tell the truth so you don't get confused. Hey, hey. Shout out to my boss, Baron. You know that man make it happen. He got a foot up in the damn door, and now the whole team taking action. We got pictures on whether you can chat with cheddar. Hit me for your music needs, who gon' do it better? And you can catch Travis on a rash report, or Casper going live with the facts from the source. Ari is a newswoman, plus you with the force. Man, the whole Weazel staff, we on top, check the score. Editors, producers all going hard. Don't make us pull up with them cameras in your front yard, Weazel.